right, that was Foreigner with Dirty White Boy. Man in the box, get back in that box. But don't you go nowhere, cultist, because we got another hot, steamy Alan Moore's Porch to drop on your chest. Stop it! Best shut up, no one asked you. So sit back, relax, turn it up and break off the knob, because we got the original Wednesday Night Wild Man, Mr. Justin Partridge!
Oh, God. I was gonna try to pelvic thrust the entire. I think so. I'm fucking old. Hey everybody, that was fucking good. You texted me the other day about that. I think we should make that a recurring thing. Do the
bear?
Yeah. Just do a shitty Vaughn and the Mac.
Vaughn and the Mac show.
God damn it! I don't understand how local personality.
Crank it up till your ears bleed.
Yeah, the turn it up and break off the knob might be one of my favorite radio.
The only reason that recently popped back into my vernacular was that I watched the episode where the Griffins go into space.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
They go up into space and they're like, how do we? Somebody fucks up something, and they're trying to get back to Earth,
mm-hmm.
and they're like, we don't know how to get back to Earth. We don't, what are we supposed to do? And Peter steps up. He's like, if I've learned anything from listening to classic rock radio, you've got to turn it off and break off the knob. And he rips the fucking knob off the dash, and like there's sparks flying.
There's a bunch of I want to make a big master list of like all those shitty go to radio catchphrases. I didn't know how to open the show whenever I was coming up here, but I now know how to open the show now. I'm going to fucking take to task all the people that lied to us on our Facebook event page. I spend 20 minutes of my day making a Facebook event. I choose a funny photo. I make a little like synopsis of what we're going to be talking about. It's a good time, all right? Yeah, it's a good time. I invite nearly everybody on my friends list, which is like 60 people.
Yeah, I've got about
a bunch of people say, yeah, all right, that's cool. We'll be there. We'll be there. Bills on, and even the maybe that we got, fucking John sitting right there, like a goddamn like the Rock of Gibraltar. He's amazing. And then we've got. Don't care. You're fucking here now.
Steady as the North Star, as far as we're concerned.
And then like 18 people said they were going to come to this, and I was really excited. It's first show back.
2014.
It's a new year.
How are your holidays, by the way?
Good, actually. It's the only holidays that I didn't feel
ostracized
or judged. Yeah, there was no undercooked Italian food or quiet contempt.
I spent mine in a bale of like vodka mist.
No, it was really good. It was like it was just me and my son and my now wife. I'm also married. Don't you? That's fine. I appreciate it, but you don't have to do that. But we just kind of hung out. We watched.
No, you're good.
Stout, isn't it?
I'm gonna drink till
Rocky came to the desk with a Jack in the Box cup. Filled to the brim with stout ass whiskey. And a splash of, what is it, sweet tea? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because I was like, glug, 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 glug. Ooh, shit, no.
I gotta even my keel. But no, it was really great. Something's got to give. Like, we do this show, we come up here, we move the tables, we bug Cassie at the desk.
Yeah, we make her miss.
Brian gives us all the leeway we want. Starting next week, he's going to give us a special section.
Yeah, I saw that on the page
of comic picks for people to do. I'm just saying, listen.
I don't want it to be one-sided.
It's a good show.
Yeah,
we do good work.
Entertainment.
If you say you're going to fucking come.
Or just fucking say no. We don't
care. That's even better. Just tell me to fuck off. Like, and then I'll know where you stand. Like, that's much better than you being like, I'll be there, and just me kind of sitting like,
this is fun. Has this always been here?
No, he just put this up. There's a whiteboard. There's a whiteboard that Rocky is now petting like he's on ketamine.
I want because I just want to put huge dick point.
Yeah, I love balls.
Major asshole point down.
All right, let's. We got a big show. We got a big show tonight. So let's roll through our intros. Going into our shout outs and shameless plugs. I've now learned our lesson, so now I'm going to say us first and then go into the other ones. You can find us, Alan Moore's Porch, on Twitter at Alan Moore's Porch, all one word. You can follow us on Twitter and also on our YouTube channel where you can listen to this and many other episodes. You just go to youtube.com, search Alan Moore's Porch, subscribe to our channel. Please like, comment, share. Yeah, fucking flame us. I don't care. Like, as long as
interaction.
Yeah, we fucking thrive on it. Our partners in podcast, Off Topical Pod, they just dropped a new episode. They gave us a pretty decent shout out at the beginning of it, which was nice.
Okay.
Fucking assholes! Fuck them! They've gotten enough free press from on our goddamn backs, alright? They're on iTunes, they're on Stitcher Radio, they can go fuck themselves, they're fine. Off Topical Pod or on Facebook, Between the Panels, you can find them at BTPcast on Twitter and on Facebook at facebook.com/Between the Panels. I'm recording the big year-end review 2013 episode this weekend. That should be a goodie. And Newsarama, the website that I work for, you can find them on Facebook at facebook.com/Newsarama and on Twitter at Newsarama. I just put up some reviews today of Avengers World #1 and All New X Factor #1, and I also I have a blurb now on a cover of Sex Criminals #3.
Speak more. Speak more, Lay. I need Lay.
I have a blurb. Like I have a pull quote on a cover.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I have a pull quote.
I'm gonna have to frame that shit.
I fucking ordered it immediately as soon as I saw that it was gonna be on one. I fucking came up here and told Brian that I needed a copy of it. Yeah, Sex Criminals. It's a really really great comic. It's about two people that can stop time with their orgasms, so they use that power to start robbing banks. It's really fucking great.
She like she was having an orgasm.
It's really fucking good. It's really funny. It's really heartfelt.
John, where's your hand?
It's a great comic.
I just saw her like she was just like
and
I was like, oh my god, is he making her go to Chinatown?
No, we're not sexual.
Go to Chinatown?
I don't know.
That's a horrible synonym for orgasm. Okay, turning Japanese.
Yeah.
That makes more sense now. Okay, we'll power. I've got a couple offerings to the Snake God, then we'll get to the episode at hand. Off the bat, Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 1. It's a video game. I know you gave up on The Walking Dead, but you fucking need to play this video game.
I've heard like a lot of
holy
cool
shit, it is good. It's really scary. It's super atmospheric. It's a really well told story. Video games nowadays don't scare me. This one has scared me multiple fucking times. It's really goddamn good. It's really well written. The game adapts to your choices. So like if you make a choice in one episode, it carries through.
It haunts you for the rest
of the season. Like god damn it, it's so fucking good.
Cheez-Its or baseball bat? I'm kind of hungry.
Like in the beginning of episode 2, you have to choose whether or not to cut off some dude's leg who's trapped in a bear trap.
Wow.
That's the opening bit of the episode. That's like the first thing that you do.
I remember one of the op games or one of the Call of Duty games. Like the first campaign, the first mission was you were marching through an airport shooting civilians in the face.
Yeah, that's one of the Modern Warfares.
Like, this is fucking dark.
Yeah.
The fuck out of it.
They're
unarmed.
Yeah,
they're just standing there begging to get shot.
Begging to get shot? Do they really, you just see it in
begging
their eyes.
not to get shot. No.
All New Marvel Now started their first salvo today with it's the new #1 reader initiative that Marvel's doing. There's a Marvel Point Now or All New Point 1 issue over there that's like it's a bunch of stories that are going to be expounded on in the #1s. There's also Black Widow #1, Avengers World #1, really good. All New X Factor #1, really good books. Action Comics #27. Very odd that a DC book is on this list, but it's really good.
I have no.
Well, you know a good one from a shitty one.
This is. You want to know what draws me to a comic?
What?
Cover art.
Really?
Yep. That's what'll get me.
Like that'll if it's.
I'm not gonna buy it, but I'll pick it up and look at it. But like because a book, if a book has a sweet jacket cover, Swipe. I'll pick it up and start looking at it. I found like 4 or 5 awesome books that way.
Nice.
I got a super shitty record that way too. It's some emo scream band, and I was like, oh, this album cover looks amazing. I've never heard of this band. Bought it, and I was like, this is complete shit.
But Action Comics number 27, Greg Pak is with Aaron Kruger on art. Really good Superman story. TV is back. There's a lot of really good TV shows that are back. Justified came back last night. Wow. Justified came back last night. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. came back last night. Community fucking came back from the ashes of the shitty season 4. And the second episode of the new season of Community has a line in it that made me laugh. That has made me laugh more than anything in season 4. The guy Mike from Breaking Bad, the fucking bald fucking pipe-hitting guy. He's a criminology professor on the show now, and he's calling his mom because they're broke, and he just goes, "Hey, Mom, I gotta say this quick. We can't afford to bury Dad with the rest of the family." And the episode ends right after that. Oh, my God, I fucking howled. Young Avengers number 15 also came out today. It's the finale of Young Avengers. I'm really not looking forward to reading it because I think it's going to bum me out. Screenwriting 101 by Film Crit Hulk. We've talked about Film Crit Hulk a couple times on the show. He's a film critic that writes like a Hulk. He writes in third person. He writes in all caps. He writes like a Hulk. But he's recently put out a book about screenwriting on Amazon. You can buy it for like $4.
Is it written?
You can either buy a Banner version or a Hulk version. And I bought the Hulk version.
Of course,
it's just like giant letters.
It's like Hemingway and Faulkner. You want the Hemingway. You want just the chops.
It's fucking good. It's got a intro by Edgar Wright. It's a really, really good book so far. And a podcast that I just recently started jumping on. It's another comic book podcast, but it's really entertaining. It's called War Rocket Ajax by Chris Sims and Matt Wilson. I think they're both 2 comic book guys that work for Comics Alliance. The first episode that I listened to was their Christmas episode, and it was Matt Fraction and another artist, and they had tasked themselves to make the worst holiday mixtapes. And boy, were they fucking awful Christmas songs. Like, the worst Christmas songs that anyone has ever said. And a Christmas song that supplants Christmas Shoes as the worst Christian Christmas song. It's called Where's the Line to See Jesus? And it's a story song about a woman in a mall, and a little kid comes up, tugs on her shirt, says there's a line for Santa, but where's the line to see Jesus?
Where's the line to see Krampus?
It's a fucking church. That's a church. Like, that's where people stand in line to see Jesus when they go to church. Like, you don't need to go to a mall.
You don't even get to see him.
You don't even get to see him. Like, he's just on a fucking wall or like a stained glass window, but you can see him. Like, go there. Don't go to a fucking mall.
No.
That's all I got. What do you got?
That's like saying I've met Matt Berry because I've seen a picture of him. You don't get to see Jesus. You get to see some white person's version of what Jesus probably didn't look like.
Probably didn't.
Blonde hair, blue eyes. That's him. He definitely wasn't a Middle Eastern Jew.
I don't know.
Okay, I've got some small offerings. They're not offerings. They're just tomorrow. I plan on going to see Frozen.
Nice.
Apparently
it's really great.
I'm fucking calling it. It's probably going to be amazing.
Apparently it's really good. It's just everything we've heard. Everything we've heard about it is that it's really good. I don't know.
And so like I'm looking. I fucking love animated movies.
See, I wish it was hand drawn. That's my big thing about it. Is I wish it was hand drawn.
Yeah, but
it looks a lot like Tangled.
People don't want to.
Like a lot like Tangled.
They're related.
What?
The characters are related.
To the chick in Tangled?
Yeah. Wait.
What?
Who's Disney?
What? Walt Disney?
Yeah, the Jew-hating, commie-hating.
He's just the...
No, Tangled is Disney, but it's Rapunzel. It's
the story of Rapunzel, but it's also their other CG...
Okay, and Frozen is Disney.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're related. Because Rapunzel is at the wedding, like there's a wedding at one point.
Somewhere.
There's a wedding at one, they're like cousins.
Yeah.
The way that
I don't know.
royals...
Talking snowmen, okay. These 2 characters from the same universe being related? Wait a fucking minute.
Thump on the brakes.
I know.
You're on the bullshit line right here.
I'm sure we'll end up seeing it, and I'm sure I'll probably enjoy it, because it was the same thing with Princess and the Frog. I really did want to see Princess and the Frog, and I dug the piss out of it.
Oh my god. I want to say, though, that because I saw Princess and the Frog with you.
Yes, we both saw it.
Together?
We both saw it. We went with a group. Like it was a bunch of people.
It wasn't a bunch of people. It was our respective girlfriends.
Yeah.
We sat next to each other, and the girlfriend
jerking each other off,
and the girlfriend sat on either side. But I remember at the very end when the big spoiler happens.
Yeah.
And you're like, what if just the screen just shot up, a black screen, and Walt Disney came out and blipped you off, and they rolled the credits.
Because like
everybody's sad. Fuck you.
My girlfriend at the time was so fucking bummed. Like spoiler alert, they kill the Firefly that's in it. If you've never seen it, it's been out. Yeah, it's been out for like 10 years. They kill this Firefly, and she's fucking distraught. She's like, "No, they're gonna bring her back. They're gonna totally bring her back." I was like, "They probably fucking won't." No. And then as soon as the wedding is about to happen, I was like, "I just want a black screen and just Walt Disney just jerking his dick in front of you, going like, ha ha! You already got your money, assholes." Roll credits. It was great. It was really good.
But didn't he become the second star to the right?
I don't know.
He did. He joined the Firefly that he thought was in the sky. That was his girlfriend. Evangeline.
The disappointment that you had on your face by having to explain that was palpable. Like you hang your head. You look.
Well, it's a fucking Disney movie. Yeah. It's not going to be like, hey, guess what, kids? Everybody dies and no one ever comes back. Because Simba's father talked to him from beyond the grave. Yeah. Like, you can't just kill off a character and be like, no, they're dead forever.
That kid cleaner from the Brave Little Toaster never came back.
Because he was a villain.
David's mother.
Oh, yeah. Disney movies take a certain glee in murdering their villains. Like, Gaston has a horrific death.
The witch in Snow White.
Yeah. Yeah, the witch in Snow. Oh God, they take a special kind of glee in horrifically killing their villains. Doesn't Ursula explode?
Yeah,
like
Jaws explodes. Like the end of Jaws, she just blows up.
Smile, you son of a bitch! There's just tentacles everywhere.
Because they used the broken bow of a ship to stab her directly in the chest, and then she's like, "Oh!" and lightning is shooting out of her as she burns alive.
Oh man!
You don't remember this?
I don't remember any of this.
Yeah, go watch Little Mermaid. They take the bow, because she whips up a whirlpool, and Ariel's down at the bottom dead. Eric's at the helm of a ship, steering it directly into Ursula, and he just BAM! Smashes it into her, and she's like her eyes roll back, and she's like, oh!
Not just a ship. A derelict ship off the ocean floor.
Yeah, off the ocean floor.
Jesus Christ!
And it's got
there are two bits in the Toy Story franchise that are very terrifying. In the first one, when fucking Woody puts the fear of God into Sid. And has all the toys, but then in the third one, when they're about to be disintegrated,
no, see, those are heart touching. Those are like the point when he scares Sid. That's like, yeah, fuck you, evil kid. The part that was scary in that movie is seeing what this kid does to toys.
Yeah, that is pretty terrifying.
Him just tearing these toys apart. What are you showing me?
The Brave Little Toaster goes to Mars.
Yeah.
But now, in the third,
the only good one was the Brave Little Toaster,
and that was fucking
horrifying. Himself
I didn't know
for the boy.
Existed.
Oh, that was fucked up. Wow, we got way off topic.
Yeah, that's
topical.
Like
the podcast.
Going to see it.
What?
You're going to see Frozen.
I'm going to see Frozen, and my art and my resolution is to make more art.
Nice.
I'm gonna because I've got a shitload of canvases at the house. I'm just gonna fill all of them by 2014 or
nice. Because I remember you buying a bunch of those canvases.
So yeah, let's start with the show.
Yeah. So we got a goodie tonight. If she'll ever shut the fuck up.
Hey. Quit yelling at us.
We've only got 4 fucking things.
Yeah, we picked this up, and when you guys are all talking, that's the show. No one gives a shit about what we say. Everyone hears what the audience is saying. The topic.
I like how we super predicted that we would do this.
just turn on our audience.
Just
turn like I just it's whatever. Our topic is back to school because it's a new year and we're getting into a new school year. We started thinking about what we wanted to talk about, and we wanted to talk about what education's role is in making you a geek. When we were trying to think about somebody to talk to, this person's name was the first one that came up because she's a homeschool kid and one of the only homeschool kids that I don't want to punch in the throat every time they talk to me. She's not maladjusted. She knows, like, she has very well-defined social skills. She can carry herself in a conversation in a group setting. It's amazing. Don't poo-poo me. Every homeschool kid I've ever met is a fucking nightmare.
They'll end up on the roof of the building. Like there's
a handful of them that are pretty cool, but the majority of them are like still doing cootie catchers when they're like 17 years old. I got no fucking time.
They can quote any verse in the Galatians.
Yeah, it's if you give a good hearty 4-person welcome to Emily Anthony. Yay!
Come on in. How tall do those boots make you?
Like 6'5".
Hey, Emily, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
We appreciate it. So, both Matt and I were schooled in the public education. In the public. I tried fucking so hard not to say that sentence, but like it just kept wanting to come out. It just sounds ridiculous. And you were homeschooled.
Yes.
Give us a little bit of a rundown of what that means.
Basically, my mother at some point decided that she hated the public school system.
So you were in public school at one point.
I went to private school.
Oh.
In elementary school, I went to.
I'm not gonna shit on
I went to Notre Dame Catholic school. But my mother, she.
I had a friend that went to Notre Dame.
Just like you showing some sort of school pride for a Catholic school is hilarious to me.
I'm so sorry, but my mother, she decided she hated that. So homeschooled. My mother taught us everything. My father had nothing to do with it because he was just like, I don't have time. Like, you can do what you want.
Was he working in a coal mine?
Was he busy, or did he just like? He's like, I'm
washing my hands on it.
These kids get fucked up. It ain't my doing.
No, so my dad, he worked very hard, but he was just like, I don't have time for this, like, do what you want. So all of us children, pretty much all of us kids were homeschooled.
I would just be the asshole dad, just walking by whispering fucked up shit to kids. Like, Nixon was a robot, right? Like, that's like, not like a haha, like Univac built him.
Like a robot.
Like a robot. And he was the original Gerber baby.
There's a super funny a bit in this movie called Movie 43. It's just an anthology movie.
That's my life!
It's these kids, it's Liev Schreiber, and I can't remember who's playing his wife.
Naomi Watts.
And they're homeschooling a kid, and they're like, we're trying to give him the ideal high school experience, and it shows like him walking up the stairs with his books, and his mom just slaps him out of her hand going like, you dropped your books, faggot, and it just goes on, and it's like he's in the shower, and Liev Schreiber just comes in the shower and opens it up. He's like, hey, honey, come look at this kid's weird fucking pubes. It was really funny. I assume that's nowhere near of what? Oh my god, that was like the meekest, saddest yes. No, okay, so like your mom signs a bunch of documents, they give her books. She teaches you, right?
No, basically it's just because my mother actually has a degree. She actually has a degree in earth science and biology from University of Texas, University A&M at Commerce.
Gotcha.
When she went there was University of Texas in East Texas, but anyways. But the point is,
I know what you're saying. Because my mom went to the university, or the Northern Texas University, which is now UNT.
Yeah. But anyways, so she has.
For those listening at home,
For your financial record.
But she has a degree from biology and earth science, and so she can actually teach. Like, she's not just like some random person.
Right.
Like,
she can teach earth science.
She can teach earth science and biology legally.
So you know a shit ton about rocks, but nothing about
nothing
social studies or anything.
My mom just decided, to do this, and she did just.
Poe is not a bear
she didn't
that hangs
even
out with Eeyore.
like she didn't even there was no papers like in Texas. You can just homeschool your children. You don't have to do anything like sign papers. Like, there's nothing. Like, it's just you just take your kids out of school and they're like,
wait, there has to be some kind of regulation system, because I could take kids out and teach them that the Confederates won the war, but just to ease the minds, they let slavery go.
No, but see, the thing is, though, there's nothing. There's no standardized testing. There's nothing.
Which is fucking good.
There's nothing you are required.
That's really awesome.
There's nothing you are required to teach them.
The only thing that I was homeschooled on, and I was not homeschooled on anything but driving. My mother taught me driving.
Nah, I went to a driving school.
And my mother was like, okay, I'm going to put that we did all these days and we did this. Okay, so just sign us. And she was like, and at the end of it, she was like,
stacking the
deck. She was sitting there, she was like, and we will opt out of the driving test, so you won't have to do that. I was like, phenomenal.
18 days later, you've got a learner's
18 days later, and I've not killed one person on the highway. With my car. With
your car.
To be fair, I killed a lot of people with a hunting knife.
Listen, like, we're splitting hairs here. Okay, so as someone who's homeschooled, who was homeschooled, do you think that hindered or enhanced your intake of pop culture?
I would say definitely hindered. Absolutely. There was, a lot of stuff that growing up I thought was cool because my older brothers and sisters did it. Little did I know that they were fucking nerds and ostracized.
And you had like a huge family, don't you?
Yes,
you have like a really super big family.
I'm the youngest of 6 children.
Son of a bitch.
There was a lot that
like a farmhand family.
Yeah. No, I'm actually, it's crazy because my brothers are all tall, but my sisters are all like 5'7".
Were you all homeschooled?
Yes. Until my sister.
What's the success rate? Like, what are y'all doing now?
My sister.
I'm inquiring minds want to know.
No, that's a good fucking question.
Because I went to public school, he went to public school. You don't, as far as I know, you don't have a job. I work at a goddamn casino.
My oldest brother is in the military. He's Army. My oldest sister is a stay-at-home mother, even though she has a musical degree from MSU. But she does kind of on the side teach music. Mm-hmm. My brother Jonathan is still currently in school. He's a math major. My sister Rachel works with children. She's a counselor. My brother Benjamin has health problems, so he stays at home. And then me, I'm a real estate agent by the age of 19.
So I'd say successful.
Son of a bitch.
So,
yeah, that's.
Well, looks like I'm on homeschooling.
We missed the fucking boat, sir.
Standardized test, I think, tank everybody.
It really fucking does. Because there's such a.
Go ahead, take a sip.
There's such a.
Be somebody.
There's such a dependence on.
Big ass sip.
That's not even a sip at that point. That's in the guzzle territory.
It's one communion wine system.
Holy shit!
Belly up to the bar. We're gonna. Wait. Is your family religious?
Yes, that was actually a very large part of it.
I was about to say, because from what I've experienced, most homeschoolers are. Yes. There's some sort of religion.
Yes, absolutely. My mother was, and my parents are very religious.
What religion? She drank like an Irish Catholic. I was about to say she drank like an Irish Catholic.
No, both my parents were raised Southern Baptist. We are now Orthodox Christians, which is like Roman Catholicism but older. So that's where the drinking came from.
I was going to say Orthodox. Yeah, that's you don't have all the rules or all the stringent. Mm-hmm. We have 1,000 cardinals.
But
what was the shit that your brothers and sisters were into?
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna say.
Uppers, downers. What do you think?
Bathtub crank, toilet wine. It was great.
Bath salts.
My oldest brother was very into heavy metal and Spider-Man. Those were his things.
Two tastes that taste great together.
Yeah. And then my sister, that's 7 years older than me, she was very into rock music and putting my head in the toilet. Those were.
Wow.
How does it taste, nerd? So you got that experience.
Yeah, you at least got that out of the way.
I did. But yeah. They.
I still can't get over heavy metal and Spider-Man. Like that's just.
Put it on a t-shirt.
I do. I want it on a t-shirt so bad.
Heavy metal music or heavy metal the movie?
Like
heavy
the
metal the
magazine.
music. Heavy metal music.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
See, that's super interesting because, like, as a
just a damn minute.
as a public school kid, you're kind of thrown into the jungle and kind of left to your own devices.
Right.
So that in turn leaves you kind of exposed to a lot of different stuff. So I find it interesting that, like, did you?
What did you eat today? I think I tasted it.
Oh God! Don Jose. Oh God.
Yeah.
Don Jose.
There's some beefy.
It was a chicken quesadilla.
Oh, okay, chickadilla. Was that homeschooling or you being the smart ass?
Smart ass.
Okay. I hope they raised you better than that.
Was there anything that your brothers and sisters... God damn it. Was there anything your brothers and sisters liked that you latched onto?
Yes. Jesus, take the wheel. Okay. So it started very basic. It started out as very subtle. Like, I didn't think it started with my sister telling me that I didn't like the color yellow. That's how it started.
She told you didn't like.
She told me
you don't like the color.
That's the basis of cults, I think. Like
that's how it started. I definitely remember.
That's how the Nazis started.
I remember being 5 years old, and I told my sister that this dress was really pretty, but she said it's yellow. You don't like yellow. And that's how it started.
How old were you?
I was 5 at that point.
Okay.
And then growing up throughout the years, I remember, trying to watch TV. My brothers and sisters wouldn't let me. I tried to remember listening to music. My brothers and sisters wouldn't let me. And it was just like, you don't like this.
Was it them being an asshole or you living in a really protective family?
They were assholes.
Okay. Because I was like, I know some people that are like, no, Christian, you're not reading today.
And
You're not watching the TV today.
Yeah. And in my family, my mother, she definitely tried to limit our television, the amount of TV we watched. It was crazy because there were so many of us. There were 6 children. So we all had assigned days that we would get to pick.
Holy shit.
We would get to pick. No, hold on. We would get to pick the TV. We would get to pick at least one TV show that we would watch. I didn't get that. I just
what?
Typical. I swear to God, I was the only 4-year-old that knew what the word seniority meant because I swear, hand to God, I will put my hand on a Bible every single time. It's Saturday morning. It's my turn to watch TV. We have seniority, so you don't get to pick.
Motherfucker, I don't have a 401k. This isn't a job, asshole.
But
you're not my manager. I'm your fucking sister.
So my parents definitely tried to limit the amount of television we watched, and I know that until I was probably about 15 or so, my mother definitely tried to limit my amount of television watching to PBS. When my brothers and sisters watched TV, they would watch things like, they would watch things like
Faces of Death.
They would watch things like Doctor Who. They would watch things like Spider-Man. They would watch things like WWE. God help us all. But
I used to be really obsessed with wrestling.
Yeah. That was a big thing.
So much so that I kind of want to do an episode about wrestling.
Because
I really
we'll literally have 2 of the same guest. We'll have the same guest on twice.
Yeah.
Because Tommy can come and talk about video games and wrestling.
Because
that motherfucker is still
super into wrestling.
I don't know if he's still super. I know he still watches it.
Because you can watch TV. Did you read a lot? Were you a big reader?
I watched a lot of. I read. Sorry, I'm drunk right now. I read a lot.
Full disclosure.
I went to happy hour at Don Jose's. I had 2 gigantic.
It's not her fault.
Took a couple of fucking giant belts off of that Boilermaker over there.
But
yeah, we're so good.
I read a lot of books. My mother.
Nerd. Keep going.
I'm sorry. My mom. She was very frightened. My mother my mother had me when she was 39 years old. So
Wow.
there's a very large age.
Hats off to her. Shit.
There's a very large age difference between myself and my mother. My mother also lived on a dairy farm for all of her life. So there were several things that she didn't have that, even though were commonplace in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, she didn't have because she lived the way she did. So when The Wizard of Oz came out, she was very scared by the flying monkeys. So for the longest time, we didn't watch.
I get it. Yeah.
We didn't watch Wizard of Oz. But I remember.
I wanted to be a fucking flying monkey.
Yeah, we've had this conversation. Matt really fucking wanted to be a flying monkey.
That's just it. Every time I watched a movie as a child, I wanted to be the villain.
Maleficent.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
So much.
I literally wanted to be Maleficent.
Maleficent.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The fucking conical hat.
I didn't see that until I was like 12, though.
I watched that. Like, I would run through my grandparents' house when I was like 3 years old, saying "Sleeping Booty" or something like. I would holding the videotape because I wanted to watch it again because I loved Maleficent.
But yeah,
Big old queen apparently.
God. But yeah, my mother was very scared by the flying monkeys, so for the longest time I wasn't allowed to watch The Wizard of Oz and the movie. But I remember being 6 years old, going to the library and having free reign. So I read
Matilda.
You
were Matilda.
Yeah, you just became the first act of Matilda.
So I read The Wizard of Oz, the entire series, the original complete works, and
The Complete Works.
The complete works.
There's like 119 books.
I read it was a book about 700 something pages long. Okay. I read that
because L. Frank Baum hated The Wizard of Oz.
But I remember reading that, and I remember talking to my mother, and she refused to acknowledge it. And she was just like, the witches and the wizards, like, that's very bad. Like, you shouldn't read about witches. It's very bad.
Have the most bare minimum general warning that anyone. They're very bad. They do magic, and they're very bad.
And it's just, and there was a lot of stuff like that, like just very general. That's very bad. You shouldn't read that. You shouldn't, watch TV about this.
Okay, so it's shouldn't.
Shouldn't, yes.
It's not a can't.
There was some stuff that wasn't
okay.
can't.
I was about to say because I heard.
Give us an example of a can't.
Basis of death.
Real sex.
No.
9 through 12.
Something. Whenever I remember there being an episode about. My brothers were watching Spider-Man one day, and on Saturday morning. Yeah. And there was an episode about how he was in limbo because something happened between. It was like something happened with Mary Jane, and like Mary Jane was in limbo, and my mother was like, "You are not allowed to watch this," because she was like, "When you die, you either go to heaven or you go to hell. There's no limbo." So that was something that I was very much allowed not to watch because she. And then my father was very much like comic book aficionado, and I feel like if you met my father, even though he's kind of like Samuel L. Jackson minus the F word, you would
sign me the fuck up.
That
sounds amazing.
I was like, you would kind of love my father.
Right up my goddamn street.
He was very much like that. And there was, after my parents had so many children, my father realized that he was reading all these comic books and there was so much death and blood and gore and it didn't bother him. So he had a comic book collection worth today about $20,000, and he doused it in lighter fluid and lit it on fire because it was just not.
That's dramatic.
Yes, because it was.
What?
He had a lot of stuff that was.
Because there is. I mean, in real life, there's no violence or sex.
You
know that,
because
right?
it was just something that he didn't want us to be exposed to, and it's something that he was very much into that, and like he really liked that, but it was something that they decided together as parents that they didn't want their children to be exposed to that much death and violence.
Wait! Did he himself? Wait, did he burn it? Or did your mother be like, "You're gonna burn that shit right
came
now"?
home from work.
So,
I saw her reading a 4-page splash with nothing but blood and tits. You're taking that shit out back, you're throwing kerosene all over it, and you're sending it to God. I'm thinking that's what happened. Because if you've got a comic book collection that's sweet, you're not just going to be like, you know what? There's a lot of libraries and a lot of bookshops out there in the world, but I'm gonna burn this motherfucker up.
Because as Christians, it bothered them that it bothered him and my mother that they were reading this, that they were allowing this into their home, and it didn't bother them that there was this much violence and gore in their home, and they didn't want that, to become a standard for their children. So my father burned it, that's just kind of the way that the direction our family took was just violence and things like that. You shouldn't become desensitized to things. So that's definitely the direction that things took, and that definitely took a really big hit on our exposure to pop culture and things of that nature.
Well, because I was going to say, like, the whole... I can certainly vouch for the desensitizing.
Yeah.
But, I remember as a child, and I think I brought this up before on an episode, the first thing I ever remember seeing on television, ever, when I was a very small child, it was during the Persian Gulf War, and I remember seeing on television somebody burning the American flag.
Right.
Middle Easterners burning the American flag. And I remember that kind of getting burned into the back of my head because you've seen that flag as a child, and then you literally just see somebody setting it on fire and then waving it around.
Yeah.
Like, very proudly, like, look at what we're doing. Yeah. But, as you get older from, like, public school standards and parents that don't necessarily don't give a shit, but there's no way to control how much without really fucking pulling them in. There's no way of stopping them from seeing all this shit. Because I remember as a kid, we watched Ghost.
Why are you raising your hand?
I don't know. Every time we watched Ghost, when the dark spirits would come out and take a soul, my parents would cover our eyes.
Yeah.
We would have to close our eyes whenever the dark spirits came out. Yes, you in the front?
Okay.
Yeah, why are you... You're right here. Just talk.
I'm so sorry.
You're literally the closest to the microphone.
I'm sorry. Don Jose's happy hour? Okay. But, no. Can I just say, though, Ghost? I watched The Pacifier with Vin Diesel. And they were talking about Ghost. I'm not even joking. To this day, I know it has Patrick Swayze. I know it has Whoopi Goldberg in it. Never seen it.
Guess
because
what?
my parents just did not allow that sort of thing.
Guess what? You're not missing much.
Yeah, you're not really missing anything.
And I understand, it's not a great movie, but it's just that's the kind of...
Now, if you say you've never seen Overboard, then we might have a problem.
Yeah, Overboard's a goodie. I was going to ask, that's one of the things I had on here. What was your first R-rated movie?
Conspiracy Theory.
Really?
Conspiracy Theory. But I wasn't allowed to watch it. My mom told me to leave because we were my sister, who's 7 years older, my brother, who's 9 years older, they had two friends spend the night and they watched Conspiracy Theory, and I was not allowed to watch it.
How did you watch it then? Did you get a sniper scope or something?
Just because of the way that our house was laid out.
Big ass door cracks?
Because of that, at that point in time, the way that our house was laid out, I could very well stand in the archway of our living room and not be seen. Yeah, so I watched that. I literally stood up, and watched the entirety of Conspiracy Theory.
Conspiracy Theory.
Here's a good question. I'll turn it to you, and then I'll turn it to myself. Was there a movie that you weren't allowed to watch that you watched?
That I wasn't allowed to watch?
Your parents said, you're not allowed to watch this movie. You went out of your fucking way to watch it. Like you were like,
sure there was.
As a middle finger, you were just like, nope, fuck you, I'm
watching this. I'm sure there was. My biological mom was super fucking lax with a lot of that stuff. Like there would be moments where she was super mercurial about it. Like there'd be some days where I wasn't allowed to watch like this, and this, and then the next day she would rent something and then we would just fucking watch it together. Because she was high? Yeah, super high. Super high. One of the ones that I do remember distinctly is Pulp Fiction. They went. My mom and dad went out of their way to rent Pulp Fiction because they kept hearing about it. They didn't get a chance to see it, so they rented it.
And then they didn't understand it, and then they tried to.
Like we all they watched it. They watched it. I think that was one of the ones where they were like, "You can't watch. You cannot watch this." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then like when they went to bed, I zipped it out and then immediately threw it in the VCR.
The only one that I can think of was Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Really?
Because my mother kind of, like, I'd heard about it, And then my mother was like, no, you're not supposed to watch that. Uh-huh. But I don't know if it was like a, hey, do not watch this movie, or hey, don't watch this movie. I'm walking away now. I'm leaving the room.
Don't you do it.
I'm leaving the room for 92 minutes. But I remember we had a shitty VHS, like my dad recorded it off of FX or something, because it was the stage play in front of the show, like they were recording live, and then it was being hosted by Meatloaf.
Nice.
He's like, make sure you have your popcorn. And he threw the popcorn and your water pistols.
Yeah.
Because we're going to watch. And then every time they went into a musical number, they pulled out to the live version.
Yeah.
And then you would see the people acting out the thing.
It's awesome.
But that was the first movie that they were like, don't watch this movie. And then I was like, okay, hand up.
Where my mom took my sister to see Pretty Woman when it came out. To a rated R movie when she was like 9 or 10.
I was about to say, that movie's pretty fucking recent.
Yeah! No, Pretty Woman?
Yeah. Well, I say pretty recent as in I remember it coming out.
It was like...
a lot of things coming out.
90s.
Early 90s. Yeah, I remember it.
So, yeah, my sister was probably around maybe 10 or 11 or 12.
Yeah.
I was like 17 or 18.
You're not seeing this shit.
You get in the car.
Pretty Woman's off limits to you. Because you're going to go out there, you're going to find some whore, and then you're going to bring her home and say, she's just like Julia Roberts, even though she's black and she has no teeth.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
I do sense a connecting theme, though, between homeschool and public school.
Yes.
And that reading especially, it's very much the escape. Like, that's the one thing that you can do to kind of get away from everything that's happening around you.
And also I wear glasses. My vision, even though I go to the doctor, eye doctor.
Nice glasses, nerd!
No, but the thing is, like,
Big Brother walking past her in the hallway.
I go to the doctor, eye doctor every year, and I have 20/20 vision, but I have an astigmatism, and they said that it's agitated. Every year they say it's agitated by the fact that I read everything close to me. They said that because I was homeschooled and I read everything right in front of me. I didn't have to focus on anything on a blackboard, on a whiteboard. Everything was close to me in a book. That's why my astigmatism is so bad, and that's why I have to wear glasses, because I read so much. And they were saying, and they attributed, and 100%, I swear to God, you can call them right now.
Oh no!
Call Haley Eye Clinic at 10 o'clock.
Bullshit! You're a fucking full of it.
But seriously though, like that's the thing is like they attributed, like they would tell my mother.
Scientifically, it makes sense
because they would say like no, like 100%. They were just like, because she's homeschooled and she reads so much close to her, she never has to focus on anything away from, like, more than 5 feet away from her.
You know,
her eyesight is terrible.
You're just justifying for all, like, this is literally just like, now I have justification for getting a giant gyro race board in my house.
No, but I just, like, what's something that Justin and Rocky, like, what's something that, you know, you guys did in high school that, like, so this is a back to school episode, what's something that you did in high school that, you know, wasn't as cool as you thought it was, but then now it's cool, or what's something?
I mean, high school, like, doing theater. You're a fag. Don't do theater.
Yeah.
But, like, junior high, I can definitely, or, like, elementary or junior high, apparently, and I did not know this, wearing fingerless gloves is not as cool as I thought it was.
Yeah, he used to wear fingerless gloves. We talked about this a bunch, and I think it's adorable.
Because I mentioned it on Twitter, and now I'm being followed by a fingerless glove company. I figure if I plug them enough, I'll get some samples. But
fingerless glove company.
But we were not, like, destitute. Like, my dad didn't go out and dive through dumpsters so we could eat. Like, we lived in nice neighborhoods. We had good food. But we certainly weren't on the highest part of middle class. So my dad would go out and buy these cheap, shitty golf gloves and just chop off all the fingers. And so I would have these leather golf gloves, fingerless golf gloves.
Awesome. It's fucking adorable. It's, like, one of my favorite things about you, that because you feel like a couple of years wearing these
gloves,
right?
No. I didn't spend... It wasn't like a couple of years here and there. I spent like a whole fucking year wearing these. It was just like the year and a half to 2 years that I spent wearing nothing but Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah, that was my thing.
Which apparently I thought was cool.
I discovered Oxford's...
I watched MASH... And I was like, these guys are doing it.
Yeah. I was like, he was fucking great. He's bebopping around. Everybody likes him. He's cracking wise. It's great. Now, when I discovered Oxford's...
Or bucket hats. I wore bucket hats for like a solid year. Well, are we fucking twins separated?
I think so. I was wearing those bucket hats for a while until like one of my dad's asshole friends cornered me. We went to one, like he was a firefighter. They had this big party at his house. He was super drunk and he cornered me and he was like, hey, you know what they call those hats, don't you? And I was like, no, what? He goes, they call them cocksucker hats. And then he strolled off, and I was like, well, that took the fun right fucking out of it.
That's the end of this era. I had a woman come up to the counter the other day, and she pointed to either side of my head, like where my ears were. She was like, so are you gay, or do you just, what is that? And I was like, no, I'm for everybody not in the audience. So the other 906 billion people.
Because there's 4 people.
Yeah.
She got it.
She connects dots, ladies and gentlemen.
Alcohol, ladies and gentlemen. I have these silver hoops in my ears. And she's like, are you gay or do you just... And I was like, no, I'm not gay. I was like... And I've held up my goddamn ring finger and indicated my wedding ring. I was like, no, I'm married. She's like, well, that could be to a guy these days.
Oh my God.
I was like, I'm married to a woman and we have a daughter, so
the buffet's that way.
And she was like, good for you, and fucking left. I was like, well, shit,
that's ridiculous.
But
what does that have to do with our episode?
He said gay because wearing a bucket hat's gay.
My senior year, this is something that wasn't cool that I did that I thought was super fun because I had such a lax schedule. I just took a bunch of like elective bullshit things.
Okay.
I was on Spirit Squad. I was on Spirit Squad of our cheerleaders, which is basically like me, another dude, and some other chick setting up the big
sloppy three-ways.
the big inflatable thing that they have to fucking run through.
Hog mouth.
And then when they score a touchdown, you gotta run the flag and shit. Yeah, I did that.
Because like but when you're like a kid, and I'm assuming for homeschool, I mean I didn't have like a shitload of family. Like I had me and my sister, and that was it. Mm-hmm. When you're a child, you're kind of your parents, which I mean that's the only reasonable thing they can do. Is just imprint all the cool shit they like onto you, and then be like, okay, that's kind of what I like. Go out there.
Yeah.
Because like I still really dig James Taylor and the Beatles and shit like that. Mm-hmm. But like it can get pushed to a breaking point because I fucking hate Bette Midler.
And your mom is obsessed with Bette Midler.
Not obsessed with Bette Midler as much as she is with Barbra Streisand. Like,
yeah, that's the one.
I can fucking take it in small doses. But like, and when you get into a public school, like, oh hey, these are my friends. They all like this stuff. So I guess I like this stuff too now. Like you're kind of forced to like shit.
Yeah.
And like it was funny because in high school I found people that dug like Dragon Ball Z. Like I really liked Dragon Ball Z. I've done the same group of people liked Diablo, like the video game I was playing. Mm-hmm. So like we could collect and be kind of nerdy about that shit. When I joined theater, you kind of inherit this entire nerd world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like instantly you're a theater kid. Like if you do it for one semester, you're just trying to get the elective credit and get the fuck out. But if you're doing it over and over and over again, and the teacher is more like a friend to you, then you're a theater fag and you're just doing it for fucking whatever. Like, because there was a lot of fucking animosity with me and my family as far as it comes to theater.
Oh, yeah, mine too.
Because they were like, well, if you're not in the fucking show, why do you have... not fucking show, they didn't say. They were like, if you're not in the show, why do you have to be there every day? I was like, it's rehearsal. Mm-hmm. I was like, I signed a contract. You're not old enough to sign a contract, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I gotta be there every day. Well, I'm not picking you up from school. You just have to walk. Okay. So every day I walked or got a ride home from somebody.
Rocky hardship. Justin.
It happened a lot with me too.
He was in Owl Park.
Yeah, because I was in Owl Park, and so our department was fairly small as it was, and my parents just thought it was just us fucking around. Like they didn't understand that it was something that
you were trying to legitimately tell stories through your back.
It wasn't until I actually won a medal or two. Well, then my mom was kind of like, "Oh shit, this is something we don't have to pay for anything.
You could get a letter for it."
Yeah, it's like we don't. So the money checks with the spendy cash. We can get that. And then as soon as that dried up and I went to college, they were like, "You gotta get a fucking real job." I was like, "Well, I mean, this is gonna be my real job." And they're like, "No, you really need to get a real
job,
an actual job.
Stop screwing around."
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to push an art degree for 9 years. No, we'll seriously, we'll get something done. We'll do something with it. It's so long since I've met somebody that was homeschooled. Are you more confident or less confident than you think you would have been if you had gone to public school?
It's a good ass question.
Because
I feel like I honestly don't know, because I feel like at this point in my life, and I don't know if it's just this true for every homeschool family, if it's just true for me.
And you had a shitload of other. So you had a classroom with you. It's not like you had.
And
it was just you and your mother sitting across from each other.
Yes. And I actually had this conversation with a friend of mine that, you know how behavioralists nowadays are saying that, you have to have the social exposure, not exactly bullying, but you have to have that person.
No, you need to be bullied.
You have to have someone saying,
I'll plant that fucking flag.
I'm sorry. Okay.
No, seriously,
you have to have someone saying, your ideas aren't always the most important. You have to become a well-rounded person.
I like how you put that nicely instead of you're a piece of shit. Stop trying to push
no
that
one cares.
And I don't know if I don't know if it's has to do with the fact that I was the youngest, and I did have older siblings to say you're not important. Listen to me instead.
That's the bullying factor.
But then again, I also we did have homeschool. Prom, yes.
Prom.
We did have events to where it was, I was around other people my age to where
you were?
Yes.
Okay.
That was one thing, when I was in high school, not when I was younger, but when I got to high school, probably about, I'd say 16 and beyond.
Was it other homeschool kids?
Other homeschool children. I was around other people my age that I was, kind of able to realize that, hey, I'm not the center of the world. Mm-hmm. There are other people who have different interests in me, because I'm not even joking when I say, do you remember when Chuck Norris facts became popular?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I grew up watching Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all did.
I had a friend.
No, we all didn't.
No.
I did not. No, are you kidding me? No. No.
Heather did. Heather's the bomb.com.
You live in Park. How is that possible?
I did not fucking like that show at
all.
No,
not like it. I'm saying grow up around it.
Yeah, I did. I grew up around it. I was aware of it. I knew it was a show.
Okay.
But other than that, that.
My family watched it.
But I just remember the fact that growing up, I grew up around Walker, Texas Ranger. Chuck Norris was a famous kickboxer. He was a Tang Sudo expert, all this stuff, right? I remember being 16 and talking to my friends about when Chuck Norris facts became popular. And I was like, hey, Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups. He pushes the world down, right? None of my friends knew who Chuck Norris was.
What?
I was so that was the first time I really remember being like, what the what
the hell
who are these fucking people?
Who? You guys are my friends. How do you not know what this is? And then I'm not, seriously, after that, I remember talking about Spider-Man. I remember talking about Batman. I remember talking about
Most Def.
I remember talking about Zal. I remember talking about all this music. I remember talking about these bands. I remember talking about TV shows that none of my friends ever knew, because that's not what they grew up around.
Okay, so I'm gonna go on a branch. Am I interrupting her?
Sorry.
Am I?
No, I feel like a dick now. Keep going.
No, I wanted to know if her point was out, because I didn't want to interrupt it. But
go ahead.
Go ahead. I want to further ask that question.
Okay.
So it seems to me that your experience in homeschooling was not the normal. Because you would be around these other people, and you would mention shit, and they wouldn't know what you were talking about.
No, that's exactly it. But although there were some things that I didn't know about, like I was talking to a friend earlier this evening, and I remember I knew Britney Spears from a Pepsi poster that my friend had taped to her ceiling. I didn't know that Britney Spears was a singer. I didn't know, like, all I just thought, like, oh, she's like a pretty person who's on a Pepsi bottle.
Yeah, she shills a subpar cola.
And then I remember my friend telling me.
It is subpar. Point move.
And I remember my friend telling
Dr. Pepper, nothing.
Who actually was a lot younger than me, actually. She's 3 years younger than me. I remember her telling me, like, oh, you don't know who Britney Spears is? Like, she's a singer. Like, you don't know. And then she said, she's dating Justin Timberlake. And I was like, who is Justin?
Who are these wonderful people?
Who is that? She's, in sync. And I was like, I don't know.
In sync with what?
I did have a few things where it really was like I just did absolutely not know.
So,
but there were some other things that it was just
pop culture,
like really, really pop culture.
Okay.
But things less, that you guys might have known, like
MC Hammer.
Like MC Hammer, like hell yeah, I knew who MC Hammer was. But did my other friends? No.
Her parents had time to digest it and process it, and it's kind of like a baby, like a mama bird. She had time to chew it up
and throw it in living color up.
If this is so good, funny. I'm gonna filter out all the shit. There you go, MC Hammer. He just dances around in weird pants.
Okay,
enjoy that.
So I was telling my friend how I didn't know.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know who. When the Bill Clinton scandal broke in 1998, I was 6 years old. I didn't understand what had happened. Long story. I was 6 years old. Okay,
Shit.
I'm sorry.
I'm old now.
I'm a baby. But the thing is, also I was young, but also because my parents wanted to shelter me. Long story short, I thought that because they had found something in the office, I thought my mother told me it was just ketchup. And little did I know it was semen because he had, yes. But and I just thought
semen in the beers.
Because I
pretty sweet.
Yes, because my mother didn't want me to expose to those things. That's why she thought she told me he was eating in the old office.
They had a really
little did I know he was eating in the old office.
Eating pussy.
And so
low hanging fruit.
No, let's be honest. There was no pussy in that office. There was a shitload of cocksucking in that office.
But
shitload.
I remember, having a conversation with a friend. Sorry,
no, you're
I hit you. But having a conversation with a friend who was just like, I was like, oh, like he ate something. Like there's like it's a museum. Because that's how I.
They gotta get that motherfucker out of the office.
That's how
give him a bib or like a wet nap or something.
The entire country is pissed that this dude got matzo ball sauce all over the rug. They want him out.
That's literally how I understood that was Bill Clinton because he worked in the White House, which was, as I understood,
pristine,
a museum.
White.
And he
you're not allowed to do that.
And so he wasn't allowed to eat there. So I was like, he got in trouble because he's not supposed to eat there. And so for the longest time, I thought
to be honest,
he got impeached because he ate.
To be honest, Nixon was thrown out because he chewed too loudly.
They recorded him.
Like a
sailor
too loudly.
and chewing too loudly.
Yeah.
Emily, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much.
This is going to be a really good episode. I'm really excited about it. We've got a bunch of questions though. We have a bunch of questions.
I was actually surprised when you told me that.
Fucking too. It's ridiculous. We'll pop through these real quick and let these people go.
All four of them.
Our Doctor Who guest Brandon asks, when did you realize you were a nerd and this is being sent so hard from my iPhone? The moment...
If it was any harder, it
hits cracked my phone in half. The moment I realized... The moment I could sing the Mystery Science Theater 3000 theme song from memory, I was 9 years old. I've never seen Mystery Science Theater?
I've never seen. That's
holy shit!
No.
Oh man, you are in for.
Don't listen to her.
You are in for some fucking treats. Oh,
it's amazing.
It's
amazing.
Oh, it's good.
It's amazing.
It is good.
Netflix, tons of money.
Yeah. When did you
When I kind of knew that I liked weird shit, but I knew that I was like too far gone. When my grandparents, I was at my grandparents' house, and they wanted me to go down the street and talk to a neighbor, and I realized that I was gonna miss Batman the Animated Series coming on because I knew it came on at a certain time on a certain channel, and I was gonna miss it if I was down there, and I knew the amount of time it would take, and so like I was down there just watching the clock, and it's like I knew it was starting, and I instantly just fell to shit. Like I was just bawling because I wasn't watching Batman. And
dedication.
And I was like, and they were like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "I'm missing Batman." And they're like, "Well, we'll go back." Like that was when I kind of knew. Well, we might have gone too far with this.
What about you, Emily?
I was in denial for a really long time. So I remember when, do you guys remember the TV show Heroes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a big Heroes fan.
That was, I remember, because I was in 4-H, because that's the kind of person I was.
Oh, wait, they have 4-H for private schools?
No, 4-H, you can join 4-H no matter where you go to school. Yeah. So 4-H, I remember
every day.
I was the president of the 4-H County Council, and I remember voting against having meetings. Against having meetings on Monday nights because I didn't want to miss Heroes.
Motherfucking Heroes Day.
I didn't want to miss Heroes. I didn't want to miss Chuck, and then I didn't want to miss Lost. Like that. That was.
I've worked my.
That was the first time, and I was like, I'm 17.
I've made my current work schedule float around the fact that Archer comes on Thursday.
Next question. Next question. Ben Steimel,
I love Ben.
Super cool guy, asks, on the topic of the evening, when would you say geeks stop shopping with their moms at Dillard's? There's a backstory with this. Their cousin has an Instagram. Their cousin is like, I think 11 or so, and she just posts random things where she's like in a new place, and she'll just look and just be like, at my aunt's house, and then the rest of the video will just be her spinning around her aunt's house in a 360. There's one, it was during Anything Goes. She posted one of just her in random spots in Dillard's, just screaming, at Dillard's, and then spinning around Dillard's. She's like 11.
Awesome.
It's fucking hysterical. So the Steimels constantly tweet me just randomly when they're at Dillard's. They'll just send me in all caps, at Dillard's.
Okay, so wait, I don't understand the question now, because if that's part of the joke, when did we stop shopping with our parents?
Yeah.
Or when did we stop letting our parents influence our buys?
No. When do you stop shopping with your parents? I hated shopping with my parents, so I never did it.
My parents were pretty cool. Like, I mean, they never were like, don't buy this, don't buy that. Like, they were all right. I remember one time, though, I had a super awkward car trip because I bought Offspring's Americana, and I pressured my family. They were like, well, let's listen to your CD. I don't think we should listen to this. And so I sat in a fucking Buick with my mother and my grandmother listening to Offspring's Americana. And I was like,
one of my favorite adolescent memories was that I, for some reason, really wanted the Blink-182 CD Enema of the State.
Which just turned 10 years old.
Fucking hell. But I put it on like a Christmas wish list, so my mom had to ask someone for that album, which is just a hilarious image of my mother having to go up to like the Best Buy employee.
Enemy of the State by Blink-182.
So fucking
Can you
funny.
Say Enema of the State?
That's the name. Yeah, the name of the album is Enema of the State.
I really thought you were saying enemy.
No,
I'm sorry.
Enema of the State. But no, don't ever shop with your parents. From Joshman from Off Topical sent us a question. When compared to other sci-fi fans, is there such a disproportionately high number of fucking weirdos that are Star Trek fans? I think it's because of the utopian idea of Star Trek. I think that because Star Trek is this... Well, no, Star Trek is supposed to be this utopian society of a united federation of planets.
Yes.
They don't have money anymore. It's expansion for the sake of humanity, the betterment of the entire universe. That said, I think that a lot of fans put that into like a religious
No shit.
aspect, and a lot of them are really goddamn weird. Like there are a lot of weird Star Trek fans I've met.
Like, okay.
Again with the hand raising, just
she
talk.
Just for everybody that's not right here, she keeps raising her hand like she's in.
Wait,
did you? Wait. Where did you pick this up? Did you have to raise your hand at homeschool?
Yeah.
Are you
What?
shitting me?
It's your parents.
You're the only person in the room.
That's ridiculous.
Excuse me, Mom.
That's
What?
That's ridiculous.
Okay, but
there are no stupid questions except for Emily's favorite question.
But what are we talking about? Star Trek. Okay.
Star Trek fans.
No, my older brothers and sisters were very into Star Trek, and I definitely remember
Homeschool kids. Yeah, I get it.
I definitely remember being about 12. And I remember having a conversation with my sister and my father about how Star Trek Voyager was the only series to be canceled by the network and not run its course out by the writers, whereas, Deep Space Nine, Next Generation, things like that, had all been written out by the writers. And I remember having a conversation with my sister and my father about that, and I just remember thinking, they are so weird.
Yeah, they're insane.
Wait. I like the fact that this was just a casual conversation brought up with
you're all talking around the dinner table about, Voyager got canceled.
They got canceled, how the other ones got to run their course through the writer's own discretion. I think that's a little weird and a topic that we should discuss over this pot roast.
Scott Bakula is a terrible actor.
That one's Enterprise, and that is really shitty.
Enterprise, yeah. Scott Bakula
Enterprise is
not
really
Voyager.
shitty.
Enterprise, I'm sorry. I said Voyager, I meant Enterprise.
Quantum Leap, hold your tongue.
No, he's a good actor, but that Star Trek Enterprise is really shitty.
She said he was a shitty actor. It's Quantum Leap.
Scott Bakula was terrible.
Okay, we got 2 more questions and we're done. From John in the back asked what movies we're looking forward to in 2014. We talked a little bit about this on the last episode. Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm really excited about. The second Captain America.
Oh, I've got a new one.
What's up?
Lego the movie.
The Lego movie. The Lego movie does sound. It looks really fucking funny.
It looks amazing.
It looks
and
really
the fact
funny.
That it's all stop motion animation.
Yeah, it looks really funny.
And
it's stocked with stars too. Like Chris Pratt's the main guy. Alison Brie. Job Bluth is playing Batman. It looks really great.
It's amazing.
It looks really great. The Godzilla, I'm also really jazzed about. I haven't seen anything about that. I've
seen trailers for it, and it looks Mr. Peabody and Sherman. If you didn't pick up,
there's something else. There's something else that I.
How to Train Your Dragon 2. Maybe.
Yeah, How to Train Your Dragon 2.
The Superman versus Batman movie.
That's 2015.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that's 2015.
No,
it's
no,
2015.
It's not.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Ass Eaters 4.
Yes.
Heaven is for real.
It's that's 2015.
What is?
I'm so disappointed.
Batman vs Superman.
Oh yeah,
that's 2015.
I'm super disappointed right now.
2015. Monuments Man looks fucking great.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like I'm gonna cry in Monuments Man.
Oh yeah, most definitely. There's no way.
There's too many main lead actors, and it's all about art. I'm just gonna be a blubbery
I think
baby.
the third.
I really like John's watch.
I think the third. Insidious comes out.
I thought you were talking about a movie, and then I realized that John.
I love John's watch. The can.
That sounds like a movie.
Yeah, it sounds like a super esoteric.
Okay, next question.
That's all we got. That's all we got.
What? That's it?
Yeah, that's all we got. We lost it. Thank you once again, Emily, for coming out. Thank you, everybody that's in the audience, for coming out. We will see you guys again on the 22nd with another piping hot episode of Alan Moore's Porch. My name is Justin Partridge. For my co-host Rocky Turner, thank you all. Good night and good luck. Woo!